Okay, we've been playing My Village tonight, which is the second time me and Gary have played it, and the first time Nick and Jason have played it. And we're going to talk about it briefly, and we're going to start with Jason. No, we're not. We're going to start with Nick.
Oh no time to rehearse. First play, really trying to understand what's going on and realising what all the cards can do. I'm surprised that of the four of us, three could follow the little blue customer things and do it until the end of the game without running out. There doesn't seem to be much squeeze on that. I followed the little green route and it seemed to do okay for me. First play, I'd like to play again just to get a better idea of what's going on.
Jay?
Didn't enjoy it. Didn't like it from the rules onwards, really. It could see it's bitty. It's unnecessary. It's over complicated. There's too much chrome without any substance, if you ask me. But make your own decision. I'd never play it again.
Sorry. Right, so after Gary has picked himself up off the floor after Jason's comments, Gary, what do you think?
Well, it's true. There's a lot to think about. It's a word salad. It's a point salad, and the first time you play it, there is perhaps too much to think of because you can't get a grip. You've got to have there's lots of engines in it, so you've got to try and work out a strategy. And it's like places like Aura et Labora, things like this, where you're really trying to take in a lot of information. The cards all do different things and look a bit similar. I think that the citizen buildings and the meeting places are very red, and it's not difficult to see the artwork on it, which makes a difference. I like a lot of aspects of it, actually. Some people might say it's a bit morbid, but I like the way that the deaths in the cemetery is the sort of the link to the end of the game. You are telling a story in a way, but you're basically trying to work out your best strategy. It's quite a from the hip sort of game because you're trying to pick the best of the dies that you're left with. All in all, I would play it again. I quite enjoy it.
Okay, so back to me. Well, I won this time, and I came second last time, which is not to say that it necessarily wows me entirely. I kind of felt I was playing, and really just I didn't want to get too involved with it because I think I could have got quite frustrated with the dice, for example. I think you have to kind of mellow off on the dice and not feel you've got to get the dice you want all the time and be prepared to go with whatever you get. I went last lots of times in the game. Selecting the dice, and so you've got to prepare for that, knowing that if that comes along, have you got some options? So it's fine like that, but yeah, there's something about it that just feels the same all the way through. I mean, less this time than the first time. The first time I felt it was the same thing over and over again. I must say this time I did feel a bit more strategy all the way through, but yeah, we'll talk a bit more about it, and
Done.
We'll see how we go. Hi, welcome to What's Not to Like, and today we're looking at My Village by Inka and Marcus Brand. And apologies that we haven't had a What's Not to Like for some time. We've been very busy with the Darien Apocalypse Kickstarter, so more about that later. But let's get on with this now, because as you saw from the previous bit of the video, there's some reservations about this game, and rather more than that from Jason. So let's take out some of the good points about this game first of all. First of all, the theme, I think it is really strong. Obviously, we know the game Village is a strong game and people like that game in itself, but I think they've done some nice things with this. I particularly like as Gary mentioned, the plague development there, where the villagers, these are the villager characters here, and they die, and as they die, so the rat, you've got a nice little rat character here, you roll the dice to the rat, and he moves along the track here. When he gets to this point, then the stories in the story tree, half of those stories are lost. Now that's quite a nice image, isn't it? The idea that people have recollections and memories about a place. If you've not stored those memories back in your house, they're all lost. And what works well with that is the rat only moves when one of your villager dies. So this, so I moved the wrong thing there. There's a death marker. This marker moves around here for the various actions in the game. When it gets to the skeletal figure here at the end, a death figure, then passes him, and at this point one of your villagers will die and go to the graveyard, I guess. So when that happens, that's when the dice rolls and off goes the rat. So yeah, I think it's quite a nice feature, and I think the rest of the thematics is good. You've got the idea that the villagers might go for a walk there into the countryside or whatever it is, or a journey of some sort. You've got the crafts that they're building up, and they serve customers here to get victory points here. You've got the church with the monks coming into play here. You've got these two cards. I'm not quite sure what it is, but it's a meeting house and really bonuses for victory points there. And finally the fields down here. So you've got some nice thematics there. So yeah, quite a lot to like. As I say, these villagers are key to the game, and you can't do these other card actions unless these villagers are here. So you've got that. If the villagers do die, you're looking to recycle another villager here and breed another one if you like, and pop him on there to get things back in action. So I like the thematics. I like the dice rolling. It's a big dice roll. The person who's the first player gets to roll all the dice, and then that first player chooses the dice they want, because different cards, as you can see, different numbers. So you select the numbers you want for your combination of cards or particular card. And that works well. The black dice are there because if you can't find the number you want on the white dice, you can take the black dice, but you will cost you 2 in the way of time moving around the track here. So that works well. And finally, I think the banner system is rather good. That you've got the white banners here are the ones that you can use together in combination. So you're trying to build up an engine there where the white banners can come into play. Whereas the black banners, which appear here and tend to appear on the back of cards, these single cards when you're buying things, well, they can only be used once, so you've only got the one opportunity to put those into operation, which is, has its advantages and disadvantages, and we'll come to that in a second. I mean, I think overall, when you're buying cards, I've no problem with it. My problem with it is really this little chap here, which Nick mentioned earlier. And we'll come to that. We discussed that last night, and we'll come to that in a minute. Anyway, so some really good features, and I think it's a game that is quite Moorish. You look to choose your dice, you're trying to build a little engine, you're trying to work out what you're going to do, and you're conscious all the time of the danger of the rat and the plagues and losing your story. So quite a lot to recommend this game. Let's have a think about the more thoughts now. Let's have a think about the afterthoughts now, and I'm going to go kind of in reverse order with this, because I talked about these banners being a good feature, and I think they are, but I think there is a slight drawback with it, and I mentioned it here already in this little single banner here that you've got. Now, as you can see, there's got a question mark on there, which means that any 2 dice can operate this, and that what it does the first time you do it is the man moves out, and the first time he moves out, you get a coin, and then if you move him again, he'll collect all that victory points from the money tree, or the story tree, into the house there, and they're safe then. Well, what's wrong with that? Well, basically, it's a lot of, it's 2 actions to do this. You only get an extra coin to do it, and it just feels like it's a bit of a so what turn. You've got to bear in mind, and this brings on to dice play in a way where it's very nice to dice play, provided you've got a good choice to make. But in this particular instance, it's a non-choice. You just pick up, pretend you hold 2 dice, whatever's left, and you do this solitary action. And because it's limited like that, I think it means that people don't tend to want to do it. There's not much of a turn for you. You feel they've almost thrown away a turn doing that, even if you've got a lot of points here to gather, because it's 2 turns to get them. And bizarrely, I think very bizarrely, you can go a bit further, which is another action gone, and to get another 3 story points to put into the tree, which sounds fairly reasonable if you've nothing else to do. But then to get these back out of the tree, you've got to move back to here for another action, just for 1 coin or 1 piece of money. And then you can finally get them safe here. So to do that whole cycle is 4 actions. I really don't think anybody playing this game is going to do that very, very often. So is that so cataclysmic? Well, not really. Obviously, it's only a minor thing, but it seems to shape the whole game. That because, as I said earlier, I quite like this idea of the stories building up about this little village, and getting those points back. It's quite substantial. 5-7 points that I've put there. Clearly, in the game, they expect quite a lot of points because they've got tokens for five story points there. So, because it isn't getting done, I mean, I won the game without using that facility at all. I didn't move this man once. Saved all my actions for other things. And because it didn't happen, what happens is basically, if you're not doing that, then this rat makes no difference to you. Because basically, you're not bothered how many of those you're going to lose. So it sort of takes out quite a major thematic element of the game. All you're then worried about is moving this round and replacing your villages you need to do. So I think that really is a sad weakness in the game, really, because it ought to be one of the more exciting moves. And that, coming back to that banners thing, I'll tie this in now where my other dilemma with the banners is. I love the white banners and the feeling you can make things work together. You know, get an 11 and I'm going to get some money from my field and I'm going to get another villager developing here and maybe get something working over here. But when you're on the black banner turn, it really is nothing else to do. And I think it seems a shame to me that the game doesn't barrel along a bit quicker, because even if it was simply that somehow or other you could tie this number in with some numbers on here, it would just help you a bit more, just to give you a more feel of something going on in the game. So that's, I mean, that doesn't spoil the whole game, and I think you'll enjoy it immensely if you bother to get hold of a copy and play this game and learn it up. It does take a bit of learning. I think Jason mentioned that, but it is, it's a 2-hour game and there's a lot of interaction, which is nice, and it's a good fun game. I'd recommend it. Thank you.